In May of 2021, Gary Vaynerchuck launched the NFT project VeeFriends. I'm Darby Bailey, and I'm a Hangout Hawk. In our first year, we've begun meeting in what we call a Flawk, and we're documenting our conversations as we discuss all things Web3, NFT, business, and EQ. I invite you to listen in, be your own Hawk to our Hawk Flawks, and we'd love to know what resonates. Let us know what part you liked best in this video or audio.
Busy day today?
What?
Busy day today?
Yeah, I'm so tired, man. This week's just been crazy.
Well, you've got like 11 jobs, so you got to write.
I know. I was like, I think I finally have a question for Gary. Like, when you have all these plates in the air, how do you know which one to drop? Just let it go. Which one to throw and break it?
I think he would tell you the one that drops.
Just keep juggling.
Yeah. I think the follow-up to that is, what do you do when they drop? You just grab a couple more plates and keep on going.
That's true. If I do drop one, I will pick one up again.
Yeah, I know you will.
I do.
Yeah. It's a difficult thing for me to do with my personality type because I don't thrive on chaos and destruction. And like when things get messy, it really messes with my mind. And it's hard for me not to focus on what's not going right. Especially, when you throw in clients. Like I'm sure he deals with this at VaynerMedia too with his customers. Like if he screws up a big account, like how do you just brush that off and then go get 3 more accounts?
Yeah.
It's not good for your reputation.
Like I just realized about 6 months ago, I had a client that I used to work with that I did some IVR voices for, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking of building a voice platform of my voice. I could build an API you could plug into it. And he's like, yeah, for sure. Let me know if you're going to do that. And that's kind of in line with this pitch that I'm doing. But in my head, I wasn't believing it, right? But I'm like, it's a guy I used to work with for like a decade. I'm like, that's one more plate I need to pick up. I got to get that thing built because that's a new customer. But I'm like my university job, I'm like dropping the ball a little bit. So it's just I like to schedule. I thrive in routine. Actually, like same time every day, get up, go do my workout. And I feel like all of that's just out the window right now.
Same. I'm living in that world. I don't love it this way. I'm what we call a high S personality in my world. I like systems, processes, routine, consistency. And I like to be able to depend on that so then I can build out things from that. When stuff gets messy, I kind of lose my sense of grounding and control.
Get it. So, yeah. What do they call? What is that? A system of it's not a personality.
It's similar. It's a DISC disc profile. It was actually launched long before Tony Robbins, but it was popularized by Tony Robbins, and it's the bedrock of interpersonal personality trait, analysis and sales. Like you go anywhere.
Recording in progress.
And it's 2 things. It's either
you're in 2 places at the same time. Yeah.
I wanted to get onto my laptop. Yeah, but for any sales industry, you'll see Myers-Briggs and you'll see DISC disc profile.
I did the Myers-Briggs one, and the big 5, right? I don't know about the one you're describing.
Yeah, you should check it out. You could do an assessment in like 20, 30 minutes maybe.
What's the name of it again?
Disc profile. If you type in disc profile, Tony Robbins, it'll pull you up to a free test you can take online.
Cool. TonyRobbins.com/disc. Excellent.
Yeah. Cool. It's fun. It's a little get to know yourself exercise for sure.
Yeah, it's always good to refine that. I feel like with Myers-Briggs, when I was younger, I was answering, the way I thought I wanted to answer. But the older I get, the more I understand how much being truthful in these types of assessments help me, right? It's not me trying to answer as if I'm supposed to get the results that I think are the best. It's like, it's going to help me if I really answer correctly.
Yeah, for me, I've taken it a couple of times, and the last time I took it, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to answer what I hope that I am. I'm going to answer what the voice inside my head. It's like your conscience is really saying what the answer is that you don't want to say, like, the brutal truth. And part of that is like when you know what your values are, that's what's going to lead you to want to answer a certain way, but then knowing where your actions and your past history has actually landed you. And if you want the truth, it's about your results, not your dreams, you know?
Yeah. Interesting. I want to take it. I'll wait. I know I'm a high sensory seeker, so when you said S, I was like, oh, I am a sensory seeker. I do like intense experiences, but at the same time, like I spin out of control if I do that too much. Like the day that the V2 was launching, and I was in the Discord, just like it was fun. I was chatting with people, and it was exciting. But like by the end of that day, I was like, oh my gosh, too much. It's just like energy input.
Yeah, I get a little overwhelmed with that stuff too.
Yeah.
It's like a buffet, right? You got to make sure that you only put just a couple of things of each category on your plate, because you start to put too much at once, there's not enough room for everything.
Yeah, if you fill it up with salad, you can't put that steak on there.
Yeah.
That's
What's
really
up, Spence?
Visual. Hey, Spence. Maybe you can't hear us.
Either you're muted or you're ignoring us. Rude. He failed. Probably has connectivity issues.
So how did your trip go? You had a good break?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We went up the coast, hit some of these little California beach towns. You've been to Santa Barbara, right?
Yeah, my ex-husband is from Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what that whole stretch is like. So we just cruised up
Amazing.
that, stayed there, not in Santa Barbara, just south of there, Ventura, for about a week or so. Got a house up there we're remodeling, so met with some contractors and worked on that stuff. And then the tail end of that, we went to Vegas, stayed there for a couple of days, met some Shark Tank pals, and then from there circled back down to San Diego.
That's the Shark Tank connection.
Yeah.
So your wife was on Shark Tank, right?
Yep.
And the connections you're talking about are other entrepreneurs that were also on Shark Tank?
Yeah. What's really cool is there's a community, it's like there's a Facebook group of the former, Shark Tank companies, past and present, right? And it's just like the Hawks. There's a ton of them, but there's a handful that are very active, and they have a weekly or twice a week get together, just like we do, and they just air their complaints, talk about what's happening in the world, things that they're dealing with, working on. It's just a mastermind. That's awesome. And several of these companies or these owners are getting together on projects or helping each other, share resources like, hey, I've got a factory that does XYZ, or hey, I've got a good, procurer person overseas that does this, or I've got a marketing person that does this. So it's really useful if you know how painful it is to go find those resources in the first place. What that struggle's like, you can shave years off your journey.
And are these companies that got funding on Shark Tank, didn't get funding on Shark Tank, or?
All the above. Some that never made it, some that did. Just by going through the process, you end up getting included into this club, which is kind of nice. Yeah, it's a grueling process to even get up to be able to meet the sharks, let alone to be on the show, right? Yeah, so you can do everything right, but if your show doesn't get picked by the producers, then it doesn't go to air. And if it doesn't go to air, in a lot of cases, you might not even get a deal. Even if you got a deal on the show, you might not actually get a deal.
Yeah. Hey, Spence, I can see you now. Can't hear you, but so yeah, Matt's just talking about going to Vegas. His wife was on Shark Tank. We were just talking about that. I'm curious. So to get to the point of getting on the show, and of course, I'm sure there's stuff you can't tell me, but like when you're on the show, is it like you're scheduled to tape and then they choose to air it or not?
Yep. Interesting. Yeah.
And what's the process to even getting to that place of being able to get on the set?
Yeah, for the most part, it starts with an audition. So they have, audition openings, regularly, pre-COVID, regularly scheduled in different places throughout the country at different times. So for us, we, she had just launched her product, hadn't even launched it yet, just barely started it, had an idea, didn't even have a full run yet. But we just packed up and, headed up there, did this audition and nailed it. It was really funny. We were up at like 4:30 in the morning waiting in line to, in this line of 100 people, to go in and, kind of pitch our product. And the producers are there and, they spot the talent. So if you make it there, then they work on you a little bit and then send you back around for another round. And you go through like 3 rounds. And what they're doing the whole time is they're whipping you up, getting your pitch ready for the Sharks, getting it ready.
And this is all the same day, right?
No, this goes over like a year.
Wow, okay.
It's a long process. And then you have lots of phone calls. You get assigned a producer as you go. So someone will pick you up and be like, all right, I'm going to basically be your coach to this process. Mm-hmm. I'm going to help you refine your numbers and your pitch to give you the best opportunity for success on the show, because they want good quality television, of course. And the better your product lands with the Sharks, the more likely they're going to have good TV. So they whip it up, they help you get your stuff together, and then over the course of the better part of a year, like you said, you finally get a filming date, then you go up, and out of 20, 30 people that'll see the Sharks in a day, you could be number 1 or you could be number 30. So you just have to wait out in this bullpen until you get called, and then go do your thing, and hopefully your mind is fresh, and you got your stuff memorized and you're not fatigued. We were worn out. We were local. And the locals, they make go last because everybody else that flew in, they want them to get them out and then on their plane back to civilization sooner than later. So, if you had an ice cream company and your ice cream was melting in the parking lot, they don't think about that. They're like, oh, well, we got to get people on the planes. It's like, dude, come on. Yeah. So it's a little tough in that way, but then you go up, you do your thing. Maybe you strike a deal, maybe you don't. And then you wait months and to find out if it's going to air or not, and then you wait months and months after that for it to air, and you can't tell anybody about this. So it's like a year and a half, almost 2 years before you can even say anything.
And in the meantime, if there's a funding offer, does that funding offer get triggered in the background while you're waiting for it to air, so you can keep running the business?
Yeah, good question. The Sharks may go ahead and do the deal if you got a really compelling business. They might go ahead and seal the deal, but in most cases they want to wait to see if it airs first. If it doesn't air, then it might not get the push from the outside that it needs, in which case they might not want to invest in it. If they know they need that push for it to be successful, then that could be the deciding factor. In a lot of cases, they are in no rush to sign it because they've got 50 other companies. They want you to continue to operate your business, and it's almost like a trial period. They want to make sure that you can still operate and you're not going to crash. You didn't just build your business to get to Shark Tank and then it's going to crumble. So if you can, continue to grow and stand on your own for that several 6 months to a year, then okay, we'll go ahead and ink this and get it done.
I think that actually mirrors like any entrepreneurship project, including the NFT space, right? Like, and I'm in this place right now where I've done a couple of pitches and I've got money and I've attempted a company here and there, and the one I have right now, I've really kind of reined it in. I'm like, I'm not looking for money. I got to make sure I can get this done on my own. But now that I'm getting offers to for help, like grant money or whatnot, I have to remind myself, like, they might not give it to me. And even if they do, I have to build this. It's not I'm going to see what they give me. Like, what help do I need? Right? Do I go to venture capital? Do I go for the grant money? I just last night applied to an NFT incubator, because NFT funding is another avenue. And I'm like, in my head, they could all help. But then at what point do you if it's a Shark Tank person or a venture capitalist that's not on Shark Tank, they want to invest. That's another voice as an investor in your company, right? And for me, having so many investors freaks me out, because it's so many people to answer to. When in the NFT space in particular, all the voices in VeeFriends, right? There's 300,000 people, over 300,000 in the Discord, and it's just like a firestorm of investor voices and also bots, right?
Yeah. And out of those, 0.001% know what they're talking about or are credible in some way.
Right. But I watch Gary and they're trying to hit the 12.5 makes sense, because I watch him applying it, right? He's just trying to listen, and people are griping about for their own valid reason, and he's responding the best he can.
Yeah.
But if you have a venture capitalist who's giving you $1 million or 10,000, whatever number it is, you got to listen to what they're saying, right? But at the same time, you can't sit around and wait for them, because it's you running the business. Did you guys get money? Can you tell me if you did or not?
It wasn't money that was the attractive element for us. We needed connections, star power, help with getting marketing, manufacturing, and stuff like that on board. That's what we went in for. So what I can tell you without, crossing any lines is what you see on the show is very much different than what happens in reality or what gets inked in reality. And for a lot of good reasons. It's not like it's a bait and switch or anything, but the sharks might further investigate your business like that after you get on the show. That 6 months or a year, they're actually looking into your company to make sure everything you said on the show was true. It's due diligence. And they might find that, hey, you don't need this money, or it's not in your best interest to take this money that we agreed on. Why don't we do this, this, and this instead? So, it's a lot different than what it seems.
Yeah, that's cool. But you definitely, if you get on Shark Tank, it's definitely a badge of honor, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely, I would say that in a sense that it was a lot of work and a lot of struggle, strife to get there. So yes, just getting there was really something. Not like, oh, we're super special because we're like Shark Tank approved. Like, no, it's just because we went through so much. I was selling real estate, working on base at a aeronautic institution. And in the afternoons on my lunch break, I was going out to the car to pack costumes. And then I ended up, just to make it to the show, they weren't going to give me approved vacation time to go. And I ended up having to lie and skip work for 2 full days to go up there. And I had my buddies on base clock me in and clock me out.
What? Don't say that.
No, I got, that was just a job I had for a couple months, but I really I didn't want to lose my job, but there was no way I was not going to be there for that. So, I ended up lying to my bosses and pretended that I was there on base. I was like, yeah, I'm in hangar 1. And they'd go to hangar 1. They're like, can't find you. Like, oh, you just missed me. I'm in hangar 2. And I called my buddies and I was like, hey, is Tom looking for me? Like, yeah, tell him I went back to hangar 1. You just saw me. He goes, all right, got you. And for 2 days.
All for the dream.
Yeah. I ended up keeping the job. I got back, but 2 months later, I ended up quitting and just going full board into real estate. I'm like you, I got a lot of things always just brewing at the same time, but it was crazy. And then, all the stuff that she's gone through, just the sacrifices and the weird stuff we've had to do just to make it. There's things you wouldn't expect to be hurdles along the way that we've had and gotten through it.
That's awesome. Hey, Spence, can we hear you now? It looks like you're muted. Can you unmute yourself? So I know we
Yeah, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah,
nice.
No, my sound got screwed up where I couldn't hear you guys. And I don't know what it was on my end. I was trying to put the buds in, the earpods in, because I'm at my car wash right now. There's a little vacuum in the background. But I couldn't hear you guys. I tried several times. This time it worked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
How's
good
it
to see
going?
you.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Very interesting thread on the Discord, the last couple yesterday. But I thought it was really good. I thought, a lot of people got to speak up and what's going on with them.
Yeah, I feel like I left and there was a lot of stuff that went down in the Discord. I was like, what are you guys doing? Oh my God.
Matt, what's your name on the Discord? Is it different than Matt?
It's Honeycut.
Oh, you're Honeycut. You're Honeycut. Yeah, very profound. Like it, man. So you were in Santa Barbara last week?
Yeah, I was just telling Darby, we went up the coast. We went from San Diego all the way up to Cambria. Went around, toured the Santa Barbara, drove around the university just for fun. Again, we had a little pond out there. And then went back down to Vegas and then came back to San Diego.
All right. Did you put it all on black to win?
Well, we do blackjack, so.
All right.
Yeah. And she's my wife's a math professor by trade. So
she counts cards?
With the best of them. So she does pretty well.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah. So Mint never happened, did it, today?
It hasn't happened. I have the Series 2 VeeFriends site up, and every I don't know, once in a while I'll come back and check it, and the site is down, like the front load, like the front HTML page is down. So it looks like they're going to launch here soon, because it's got the web app front end, but no launch.
I figure I'm going to do it at like, I don't know, 1 a.m. my time on Easter Monday, at the end of
there
Easter,
you go.
there's nobody around.
Exactly.
No reason to jump on it today.
No,
Though I am
neither.
super excited to see it actually go live. That's where I'm like in conflict. I'm like, I want to see it, but I'm not going to do it.
Did you guys see the NFT game that he launched?
Yes. The what was it? The honeybee, the Gary Bee, right?
Yeah. I finally figured out how to get it.
It reminded me of the first Nintendo I ever played.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was playing it on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm not so good at it. I think I got like.
Nor was I. Somebody spouted off and said, I got 75 on my third try, and I went, I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, my third try, I think I like made it past the first obstacle.
So I had a very interesting experience last Friday. After they revealed the art for the VCon tickets.
Yeah.
One of mine was signed by Snowfro, with a little heart. It was one of those red with it. And I thought, and I looked around, I thought, oh, this is kind of a special one. I didn't see a lot out there. And I got this DM from Gary V congratulating me on my, and at the beginning, I thought, oh, he really is. He's talking to me. He's congratulating on me because I'm special, because I got the Snowfro, and he wanted to get into it and wanted a little help. But for I that fanboy thing that people talk about, I realized that I definitely have a part of that in me, man. I got sucked in for a couple of minutes. I think, well, I'll help you any way I can, And he said, well, will you sell me back some of your VeeFriends? I go, no, no, that's not going to happen. He goes, well, how about, and he started coming up with all these different scenarios, and I'm at my work trying to close, and all of a sudden I'm going, man, I know you're really important and your time is really worth a lot of money, but I'm at my business and there's 20 employees that want to get clocked out right now. And, and I kind of got into it a little bit with what I thought was Gary Vee.
Oh my God.
So, fortunately, I finally realized this is a scam, man. And it's before I knew that the Gary Vee scams were out. It's got his picture there, and it's everything you see in Discord. He even goes, here, when I go, dude, this is a scam. He goes, here, I'll bring a moderator in. I go, okay, Corso. So he brings the phony Corso in, man, goes, who's going, sir, can I help you in any way? And blah, blah, blah. Oh my God.
Oh man. The fake is deep these days. That's crazy.
These are bad people. That's so bad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, there was I kept getting, if I posted, I think it was just something about Coinbase. I don't know what the bot was looking for, but I tested it and I just posted something like, I have a Coinbase wallet and it is empty. And it got retweeted by this bot with a form that went to Google Forms that had this big section that said, please put in your secret phrase, we must have this information. And it was so blatant. So I was just like reporting them left and right, but there were like probably 10 of them within an hour. Yeah,
that's wild.
And I think Jeremy knows it posted somebody. I guess somebody fell for it and their wallet got drained.
Oh.
That sucks, man. That's a kind of gut punch, because the amount of money that's tied up in some of these tokens. I mean, this is the most a lot of these guys will ever see.
Yeah.
That's like. A down payment on your house gone.
Yeah, no, I know. I think about that. I listen to those guys in Discord. For me, I'll be 63 in July. I'm pretty comfortable. This was something that I invested that I could afford to lose. Like you said, if you don't do anything, you can't afford to walk away from it without, getting your heart broken. I mean, I'd be bummed at this point since it's gone up as much as it was, but at the beginning, I could afford to lose 30 grand. It was, that's what I invested into it. And,
what kind of work do you do, Spence?
I am in a family business. I own a car wash and, have done pretty well in the market.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
And your car wash is in Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Nice. When you say it's a family business, it's one that you got from your parents or one that you built for your family now?
No. So my father and his partner were in the car wash business in LA. And in the late 70s, they kind of, I was 19 at the time. I have 4 siblings. My parents saw how the first 3 turned out in LA and go, God, hopefully they'll be, maybe save them, but the youngest 2 and we'll get out of this town. So they hightailed up, moved to Santa Barbara, and I was going, nah, I'm not going. I'm going to hang here. And at the last week, I had this job at a produce company. I was making like $100 a week and doing the bare minimum. And I just go, you know what? I'm not going to make it down here, man. So I went up to Santa Barbara with my tail between my legs and did a little school up in Santa Barbara. And the car wash was really successful. And after doing several things, I was made a very attractive offer. And by this time, I grew to really like Santa Barbara. I thought, well, I could do that and live in this town, then it'd be totally worth it. So yeah, that's the story of the car wash.
That's awesome. A little humility, it's okay.
Yeah, no, I've learned a lot of humility on the way. I listen to Gary and I go, this guy is way too young to have this much wisdom, which really for me took decades and decades of getting my ass kicked by life to acquire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem to have that too, Matt. You're very insightful. The human condition.
I've got 2 ears and they're wide open all the time.
Yeah, I do too, but unfortunately they close a lot of times and I get stuck in between the 2 ears. It's a really dangerous neighborhood. But I am aware of that. So I got a shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something about Gary that I think is really important is that these are not his stories that he gets all this from. He's in contact and people talk to him all the time. I mean,
right.
Thousands of keynotes, hundreds of thousands of people coming up to him on the street, telling him stories, emails, DMs. He's got teams of people fielding what's happening. He can see the metadata on what's happening in the world. And it's like really, I think easy from where, it's not that it's been easy to get to where he's at, but it's easy from where he's at to see, hey, 60% of the market is saying the same thing about this thing. Clearly that's important, right? And it's like, I don't need anyone to prove to me what's happening in the world because 60% of the people that are talking to me are reporting this issue. Like clearly that's a problem and it's bigger than these other problems just by volume. So it makes total sense that like, yeah, we need to act more like this or get away from that. Or that's really toxic. I can see it.
Yeah. The human trait. I mean, all the qualities that he has in his friends that he is pumping out there, they really contradict what for the longest time was known to be, you got to be ruthless, numero uno is always the one that counts. And I mean, like, so in the 80s, like the t-shirt that said, he who dies with the most toys wins was the attitude that was there, you know? I mean, and it's I had that in my head, and it's taken a long time to realize that it's actually kind of the opposite.
Yeah, I carried that around a lot growing up, just that notion of people just cutting each other down to get ahead, because I looked at that and I'm like, if everybody cuts each other down to get ahead, we all go backwards, right? Ultimately, there's no progress that way. And I mean, it made me like really frustrated. But then after a while, I realized at the time, it wasn't a bad thing because it was a place where everything was hard, right? The only way that you could survive is if you could really fight. And so, getting out of a post-depression world where like, you're living on the most modest means that there are. Like, yes, you have to fight. You have to take what's yours because the guy next to you will, because scarcity is really real. And it's born from that. So it's honest, but that led to greater things. We were able to continue to build a really great country, I believe, a great economy and all these other things. And that's allowed us to turn turn the corner, and now it's like, okay, we've created a platform where abundance can exist. Now it's just time to change that paradigm. It's not that that was evil and wrong and bad. For the time it fit and it got us here. But now, if we want to survive and grow, we have to shift into an abundance mindset and work together to continue to build from here. Or else we will just continue to go backwards.
Yeah, totally agree.
Agree.
And I'll probably be different by the time my kids are grown too.
Yeah. So where did you like? Are you like in a faith-based group that you go to, like a church or something like that, or
just the Church of Hawks?
The Church of Hawks, but you have some like very sharing type of philosophies. I can tell by what you write and stuff like that. That doesn't really come natural to the human psyche.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I grew up in the Mormon church, and I'm more agnostic, and agnostic theist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I've been studying economic theology. I agree that like some people get religion fed to them in a way that doesn't necessarily serve them. And it's I think more rare and it's a harder path to walk to find what you really believe and be able to come up with like what Matt does in a way that it is from a spiritual core, but isn't aligned with any dogma, right? Other than Hawks.
Right. Yeah.
Like the golden rule, right? Or like there's ways of, I think there's definitely ways of being in this world where you can have the goodness of just, the yin, the yang, and the energy of the universe. Really hippie, but I don't think you have to have but me saying this, having been raised in one. So I think having a spiritual outlook definitely helps, and I feel like Gary has that outlook too. I don't know.
Yeah. Whether he knows it or not, it's very spiritual. It's not religious at all, but it's extremely spiritual.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all spiritual principles: humility, kindness, generosity. All of it. Everything he talks about. That's why I'm so blown away by him. For me, it's all been experience. It's all, like I remember, I got this creepy crawler set. If you don't know what that is, have you ever heard of creepy crawlers? When I was a kid, there were these little gels you put inside a metal mold, and then you put it on a hot little oven, and it forms into a lizard or a spider or something. So, I was probably 6 years old, plugged in the thing, and my mom said, whatever you do not touch that hot plate. Like, okay. As soon as she left, I had to put my finger on there and get my finger burned to know that, I guess and that life has been for me ever since. Like, people say, oh, this is wrong. Like, okay, but it doesn't seem wrong. It seems like it might be kind of fun. So it's all been experience, man. And then, finding out what works and what doesn't.
There's a saying, it goes, learning occurs in the body. Everything else is just a rumor. So until you hurt yourself, you can't embrace the truth.
Very true. Very true.
I saw this diagram the other day. It was a circle of something about like one generation has challenges that they overcome, and then they create peace and prosperity for the next generation. And then that peace and prosperity, they don't have the grit or the overcoming nature of the generation before them, and it's this cycle over and over again.
So they revert back. Yeah.
Like, what do you do if you grow up? I mean, the same could be said for just classes or economic classes in the same generation. If you grew up with everything you need, and I have friends that grew up very wealthy, and they have a harder time with making financial adjustments on the downward trajectory than people that grew up with nothing. And then like I grew up with not much, and I had some bounties, and then I lost them, and I'm up and down, back and forth, right? Like, I know that it's just life, it's just things. Money's a tool for an outcome, whether it be to buy a Ferrari or give that same amount of money to a charity, right? It's just money's a tool. Yeah.
Truly. And
that's one of the things I like about Ray Dalio's book, The Changing World Order, is he talks about that. but we're looking at it in like, the lens of from, family generations, right? Like your family did well, they set you up for success, you did extremely well, your kids, less grit and determination, less adversity, they get soft, then they run into trouble, their kids then don't have the things that we had, and they start the cycle over. But he extrapolates that out to empires, so not just countries, but like even continents. Really, he goes all the way back in time, and he talks about how China and their emergence right now is they're recovering from that period that they went through when they dominated the world and they had the best education in the world, and then they got comfortable, and then they slipped and things fell into chaos, and the rest of the world emerged, and now they're trying to come back again.
Interesting. I hadn't really looked at that. So I know there's a lot of global, like we live in an economic world that's globally connected, right? So the conversation of, create more jobs in the USA, make it made in the USA, which I love. It still relies upon global economic chains. And that kind of maps to what you're describing, right? Because the empires are it's China, but it's not just China, right? Because we're all dependent on each other, and technology has made it so that we're all connected in a way that has never happened before. And the NFT and crypto, this extra oomph to decentralization, and while it's exciting, it's also a big reason I think there's a lot of chaos happening right now in the world. Yeah.
I'm hoping in some ways that it's a great stabilizer, and it kind of puts a dampening effect on those changes of world power.
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, because of the direction that we're headed to right now, if things don't improve, China's headed to be, the world power. And if we continue, financially the way that we do, we might lose our position as the world's reserve currency. And if that happens, in China, it's game over. They definitely got it all. And that's where it's like, okay, well, if currency and power are huge, then if you move to a decentralized world where there's a lot happening, and in a global NFT system, a global digital currency system, maybe the importance of that fiat currency, world reserve currency, is a little less important, right? Maybe it can stave off that transfer of powers for a while. Sorry, not to go super high level, but it just, that's I think these are things we're going to see
every day, honestly. You what?
I think these are things we're going to see in our lifetime too.
Yeah. And like when people talk about NFTs and the art and get to the granular level, that's when I kind of run into trouble, caring about, I don't know, the FOMO of like the floor price, yada, yada, right? But because I'm usually thinking about world economic events and how crypto is going to change the global economic system.
Yeah.
And I believe NFTs will be like a net positive in the way you just described for that. But any kind of change, especially a global one, is just so uncomfortable. Change is hard at the individual level, let alone the family level, and like make the circles bigger and bigger. So it just causes chaos.
Yeah. And it's a spectrum too. Like you have to have something that's appetizing, in the short term. What's the floor price? What can I flip this for in 2 weeks or whatever? When this thing pivots, that thing pivots. Hey, there has to be that to keep people interested enough to play the game today. And then over the long term, and the long term is just simply a stacking of all those here and now today opportunities stretched out over a longer period of time. So like you got to have both ends of it. So it annoys me too to hear people talk about it, but they kind of, if it weren't for those people, there would be no long term. So I'm like, all right, you guys do what you guys do. I'm just going to ride up here in the crow's nest and wait it out.
Yeah. It just reminds me of when Facebook first launched, and like I'll go see my cousin, and she's more social than me. She's more extroverted. Yeah. So she really cares about tagging people who's in the pictures, looking at the pictures, check out the profile. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to like post a couple things, and like if I start like worrying about like the whole matrix of it all and like caring about like how to connect it all, it's not my jam. But at the same time, that's what keeps it running, right?
Yeah. You got to know what piece of it, what level of it you want to play in.
Yeah. So I will say I did buy on eBay. I saw one of the what's it called? The cool
Zero
cards.
cool.
I got one card. An
Nice. What'd you get?
Anchovy.
Really? Amiable anchovy?
Yeah. I saw it listed for under 200 and I was like, oh, I'll try it and see if I get it, and I got it. Yeah.
Nice.
Very
What do you think
cool.
it's truly worth?
Probably 6. I don't know. They seem to be going for more. I
Nice.
don't know.
I haven't touched
But
any of those. I'm like, I've got so many of these other things that are happening. Like, I can't spread myself any more thin at this point.
No, I did bid on that, and I started watching some others, and then I got the emails that I'm watching them, and the price was changing. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is too much. We'll just do the one.
Yeah.
Enough. Yeah. But I am curious to see like what it looks like what the product looks like, right? With the metal embossed little ring on the outside. So I think it's worth the experiment, even if I sell it. But yeah.
Yeah. Part of what's interesting for me with NFTs is I don't have to store stuff just on the wallet, which is great.
I know.
Because I don't have to pack it up and carry it around with me. I have to worry about it getting, someone breaking in, stealing it, getting water damaged in a flood, like all these other things. God, it's easy. I love digital collectibles in that way.
No, that's been a nice thing. Like I have all like Spence, we talked at the last call that I have all these baseball cards. I also have a whole bunch of vintage art. And it's like I look at it and I see it and I'm like, I need to move some of it right now, and I figure out how to store it, and it's exactly that problem. I can instead have my digital art and spend some time looking at that on my phone, maybe sell some. It's not physical. Yeah.
Speaking of, thanks a million for helping me get back into the Discord.
Yeah.
After switching over into my ledger, everything just went black, and I spent 3 days just beating up Corso and Katie, and Matt03 was in there. I was like, help! I need an adult. I can't.
I took a whole day for that ledger experience. Like I tested one, like what NFT I was willing to lose, and it got to my hard wallet. I'm like, okay, which one of my VeeFriends do I send over there first? Like the hard wallet, yeah.
Oh man, I did the same thing. I sent over some, like, I don't know what it was, just like this freebie mini drops thing that landed. I was like, all right, let's just slide that in, see what happens.
But it did take me a minute to figure out how to plug it in. You gotta like look at the hardware, push the buttons, do the thing. So it's secure. So I sleep better at night knowing like if I woke up one morning and somebody like hacked into one of my wallets, my that's not the hard wallet, they can't steal my VeeFriends.
Yeah.
So
that's what I like too. The fact that you can use it pretty interchangeably, almost as easily as just using MetaMask. I mean, with just like 1 or 2 extra steps, like this is really not that bad.
Yeah.
I was concerned that, there would be a lot of friction trying to mint stuff, buy things, be competitive, checking out, so to speak. But I use my hot wallet just to buy stuff, and then I slide it into my ledger once I got it.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
I was talking about having a burner wallet. I think it was Corso. Like, is that like a strategy, like a safety strategy? You have a wallet that you just use like on the fly to the hot wallet to buy stuff.
Yep.
And you keep it zeroed out, like zero mail, right? You don't keep stuff in there.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing with my MetaMask hot wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't keep anything on there. I just use that. I drop some ETH on it. I buy what I'm going to buy, pull it in, and then slide it over to the ledger afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's like a trade or something that needs to happen, or minting a product, and you're like, I don't know if this is a Trojan horse, just keep it isolated in that wallet until I'm 100% sure that it's not, infected or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then after it's like not destroyed that wallet for a period of time, then I'll let it into the vault.
Good
That's
thinking.
an interesting thought. I don't know, Spence, do you have hard wallets?
All I have is the MetaMask, but I'm thinking, I'm probably extremely vulnerable.
This little guy's like $60, I think, something like that. $70 shipped.
And you need
What's
to
that?
buy it from Ledger. They do have a store on Amazon.
What are you showing me right now? That's the hard wallet?
Yeah.
This is the hard wallet. Yep.
It
It's
looks
like
like
a
a
little
dongle.
USB device.
Like a 90s dongle.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So all the info's right in there.
Nope.
What happens if
The
you lose
info's
that?
not the blockchain holds your stuff. That doesn't change. What this is like having a combination lock
Gotcha.
attached to your wallet on the blockchain.
Okay, so there's like a combination. Oh, not for my MetaMask, but my wallet on the blockchain.
Correct.
Okay.
So this thing has a PIN code. So you got to use your PIN code to unlock this. And then this has to be plugged in to the blockchain in order for you to make transactions on the blockchain. So for instance, right now on your MetaMask, someone could hack your computer. And by hacking your computer, they may find your recovery phrase, right?
You mean my 10-digit seed phrase?
Yeah, your seed phrase. They might.
How could they find that? Because I've used it.
Because it has touched your computer and therefore has touched the internet in some way.
I got you.
Shape or form. And there's software out there that can do all kinds of things on your machine or scrub your stuff online to extract that 12 word phrase.
Yeah.
So it's a 1 in 100 that they can do that, but they can do that.
Yeah.
By adding this to the equation, now you can set this up for a 12 or a 24. I did 24 phrase on this guy.
Uh-huh.
So now they have to get twice as many words correct, right? But this has never, the 24 word phrase has never been exposed to the internet. It's never been said publicly anywhere. It's never been on a text message. A person could only get this if they find where I've written down those words. And to access this device and use that 24 word piece, you got to have the PIN code for this specific device. What also is cool is if I lose this, somebody shakes me down in an alley and they take it from me. I'm not worried about it. I can go get another one, plug in my 24 character phrase into this, create a new PIN code, and I'm back and I've got my wallet.
Well, I got to get on it. I know I do tend to procrastinate at times, but that would be a real bummer. So I got to get on that.
Yeah, because you probably got quite a bit of value in that thing.
Let me ask you something, Darby.
Yeah.
So I'm about to close shop, but I just want to ask you, do you guys need like help at that party? You know, setting stuff up, chairs, anything?
Yeah. So the venue will have. We'll be setting it up. We're going to have a walkthrough next week, a visual walkthrough with them. And I'm going to keep talking. I don't know if you can hear me, but your screen froze. And we do have a couple of volunteers we're lining up. One's in Minneapolis.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a second.
Yeah, so we will need help. If you're going to be in, I think you might be losing me again.
I lost him again.
in Minneapolis, yes. If you have time, but between now and then, we're meeting once or twice a week for a party organization. But did you get that? Or did I lose you?
Muted again, Spence.
Yeah, you're muted, Spence. That's okay. I can read lips a little bit, but yeah, you're muted. We still
muted.
Hear you, though. Yeah. I'll type in the chat. So we need volunteers before the event or just at the event. We're going to have a walkthrough of the venue next week, and then we're all taking on tasks for like getting the backdrop ordered. Hey, Mel, you got a mask on. But if you're going to be in Minneapolis, I'm expecting I think I'm getting there on Wednesday morning. Thursday we'll go over and we're working on having the venue store some stuff for us if they can.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll probably head over early before the party starts if you want to come over with us early in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I'm going to be there Thursday afternoon. So yeah, that sounds great. I can come over and check out and see what everything needs to be done and offer my services any way I could help. Be happy
Awesome.
to do it.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're going to have another meeting next week. If I have any tasks or if there's any new news, I'll let you know.
Okay, great. All right, I got to go close this place up. Really good talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Looking
Likewise,
forward to talking to you. Take care, man.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, Emil.
You shopping, buddy?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm at the local 7-Eleven convenience store.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
can you show me a Japanese 7-Eleven, please?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I bet
I'm
it's the
getting my
cleanest place.
I'm getting my morning coffee,
Oh,
so while I
nice.
do that, the jumbo one. Yeah, what do we got? Here we go. We got these are all the fun magazines.
Oh,
Really
man.
good stuff.
My brother
Okay,
used
we
to work in Japan. I'd make him send me those magazines because I thought they was so cool. You could read them backwards.
What do we got? Where's the good stuff?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The bentos, the little. Oh, here, sandwiches.
I love Japanese.
Are those strawberries?
Yeah, the strawberries right next to the salad sandwich. So what is it? Like noodle bowls.
Oh,
They
nice.
microwave them. Yeah. Oh, hold on. I think my. Probably looking for my coffee. They got booze in here as well. You can just buy.
Of course.
Easy. Yeah.
That's the real breakfast
Oh,
of
Is there
champions.
any empathy wine in there? Any Vayner?
Squid. There's
Cool.
squid snacks.
Vinegar
Oh,
flavor,
good.
as if squid
yeah.
couldn't get any better.
I probably would
Squid.
pick that one. Oh, more squid. Says squid.
That's basically what it looks like. Coffee's ready. Wait, probably listen to mine.
Nice. Is there any mochi? I love mochi.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Cool.
My coffee. I'll just leave it there for a sec.
Reminds me of
Oh, yeah.
my trips to Hong Kong. There were these markets in Hong Kong
yeah.
where you walk across the street and the smell was so pungent it would just knock you down. Yeah, it was like a whole bunch of dried seafood of different kinds.
Yeah.
You know, like dried shrimp,
Oh,
dried octopus and squid and
Yeah, well, this is like the dried little squid. So this is they put this. These are like the snacks you have when you're drinking alcohol. So so basically, it's always right near the nut. You have mixed nuts and stuff like that. So when you get your booze and you get your so they got the regular nuts there, peanuts and what have you, and then all the other sort of dried like jerkies and cheese and squid. Oh, here you go.
Have you ever had corn nuts before?
Corn nuts. What are they?
That's probably an American
Oh yeah,
drinking thing.
corn nuts are delicious.
Corn nuts. What are they? Just like little corn, dried corn?
Yeah, I think they're like dried corn kernels covered with seasoning.
Oh,
They're not
corn kernels,
popcorn, like they're not popped, but they're dried, I think, and they're super, like, kind of just crunchy. Yeah, nice.
That's interesting. I don't think I've had that. I'll try it though. Hold on, what we got? These. I'm not a fan of breads and pastries, especially these ones here. That I don't know. We can have like I'm trying to find like a sausage product that can be just out all day. I'm a bit curious about it.
Oh, like a pepperoni stick or something.
Yeah, no, it's one like almost like a straight up hot dog. I think they don't have. I don't see one right now. But, here we go. Yeah. Oh, just sold. See what's that? Look at this here. Oh, this is a double hot dog, double sauce, but just at room temperature.
Wow,
The whole-
is that safe?
Well, I know. Yeah, like I said, I'm always curious about. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna avoid that.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the homo sausage. There's a thing called homo sausage.
Homo sausage?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll bring some with me to the US. I'll hand out my Japanese homo sausages to everyone.
You hand them out to people and then record their expressions.
Yeah. I should record them eating it. Okay, I'll find it later. All right. Let me. Yes, I just dropped off my kid at no, let me put my thing back. I just dropped off my kid at the bus stop to school. And yeah, so she's had the morning bus pickup. It's what, 10 a.m. now.
Wow, that's a trip.
Yeah.
It's like 6 p.m. my time.
Yeah. So yeah, usually it's like this time slot is actually pretty good for me, except it's like when all the morning rushes with the kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's better than like I think usually it's like midnight or like 1 a.m. I think is the usual call that we end up having. Yeah, it's a bit rainy, terrible weather today. So anyhow, how are you all doing? I think this is just the very tail end of it. You guys are wrapping up.
Yeah, it was just the three of us today, so just kind of talking about philosophy, a little economics, and goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, actually, while we're at it, just quickly, I'll show you one more cool thing that we got in Japan. This is my bicycle.
Oh, cool.
So one kid sits at the back, one kid sits at the front with their rain covers. Yeah. So it's called a mamachari, like the mama's bicycle. And it's got 2 seats in there, battery. So it's like, it's very easy to ride. So this is where all the mums and some dads commute all around with their kids.
Amazing.
Have you seen anybody fall with one of those with kids on it?
Me. But it's not like you don't ride and fall. It's like you'll stand it up, and if the ground's a bit unlevel or something, and one of the kids is just being a bit of a cunt and fucking wobbles, and then they start playing or they try to get off, and it tipples, and you got to try to grab it and shit. They topple over, and they tears everywhere and stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man, it's like when I was in India, there were people on like motorbikes. They would just go everywhere on these little motorcycles, and you'd see a family of 4 or 5 on a motorcycle. It'd be like dad with 2 kids on his lap, mom behind him, she's holding a baby, and they're just like cutting in and out of traffic.
There'll be a dog in there somewhere as well. It's like sat across something. Yeah, I've been to Thailand a few times. So, yeah. Wow. Well, you talking ledges before. I think I want to get a second one. But actually, that's what I'll quickly ask. You guys discuss anything about the Series 2, the VeeFriends 2?
Just briefly. I mean, what we were saying is, me personally, I'm going to wait till probably like midnight day of Easter when no one's online, and then I'll jump in and do mine. But right now, I'm not going to touch anything.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I think like now this time generally, I think it's called gas is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
In my time, yeah. But I've got like 0.4 ETH left. I don't want to put any more cash into it. I've put enough cash just to get all the Book Games tokens.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get one, and then I'm gonna maybe sell it, and then I'll see how I go. But one thing I heard is just quickly is, we get our free token, right? Series 2.
Yeah.
It's unrevealed, but I heard the metadata you can read.
Really?
Have you guys claimed your?
You can claim it now.
I didn't think it was open yet.
Well, are they open or they're not open yet?
What I read today on the V2 menu that Gary V pumped out like 3 hours ago was that it's going to be open today. It is in vague terms the same time it's open for all the others.
Oh no, okay. So because last night he's like, "He do it tomorrow," and I thought, okay. So I thought by the time I woke up, it will be ready. I haven't actually looked at it properly yet.
No, it's still not ready yet. The standard V2, yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's still that game. I saw that game. I played with that, but I thought, okay, they're starting to mint or something now.
Yeah, I think Darbs was looking at some of the stuff earlier. It looks like they're, some of the site is down, like they're getting ready to launch, but it hasn't launched yet.
Yeah, we got an error 403 page instead of the HTML page the landing page. Did you guys see the thing about the cards you can claim? The cards?
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
How many friends lists do you have?
Friends list 5.
5. And Darby, how many did you get?
I got 5.
5. Okay.
And you had
I got 13.
So
yeah,
great.
He crushed it.
I got 13 for 32 tokens that I had.
It's a very high.
I had almost the same number of tokens as you. It's amazing.
Yeah. I was looking at the stats. Like I was in like my strike rate to get 13 was like 4.5%.
So good.
But odd. So I got like I was expecting 8. I thought 10 would be lucky.
Yeah.
8.5 is my expected. 9 would have been lucky. At 13, I'm like, I have to double check and really make sure it wasn't like some scam website or something. I'm on. Just trying to get me to give away my, sign my account. But yeah, so we're really fortunate with that. But
I've had to slide my optimism now into maybe of the 5 I get, I'll get a really high value one out of the 5. We'll see. But I've kind of geared myself to expect like the 5 least value tokens. Yeah. Like on the VCon tickets from the V1, all the tokens I got for V1, they were all the cheapest low grade tokens. Like I think I got maybe 1 borderless letter out of the whole kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said you bought one though that was like a bit of a better.
Yeah, I bought one of the postcards.
Oh, nice.
One of the spec guys, I actually watched it go down in Discord. One of the spec guys was like, "Hey, somebody offered 2 ETH for my token. Is this a special one?" And then all the specs jumped in. They were like, "Bro, you got a postcard? Yeah, for real. Like that's blah blah blah." And he goes, "Oh, dang, lucky me." And I was just like watching it, like, "Oh man," because I just saw all mine come in. And they were, trash, not trash, but like, low grade. And I was like, "Oh man, this guy got a postcard. He doesn't even know what it is. He's a spec." And then he posted it for sale for like 20, and I was like, "That's what I would have done." And then he dropped it down to 10, and I was like, "Huh?" And then a few more days passed, and it went to 5, and I was like, just jumped in and grabbed it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because that's like long term, that's going to be a good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any less than that.
It's a true one of one, and it's the original VCon access token. So, VCon year 1. Yeah, in 40 years, I think it'll be something.
Yeah. I think that's the game. Like for these, it's something that's like it's historic. It has historical value.
Yep.
And that won't be realized until this becomes a historic event.
Exactly. Everything that I've bought into up to this point has been with that in mind. I started with book games to try to flip, but then I realized it's just not my nature. So I just was grabbing really good stuff. And then of course it dipped, and I bought everything below market when I bought it. So the dip just brought everything down as if I were to buy it today. So I'm like, okay, I'm still safe.
But
it's not like they're not flying off the shelf.
The friends list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was calculating the friends list is about 0.2 to 0.3 ETH per token was the value, because that's how much each token dropped post.
Yeah, I think
snapshot.
I pulled 5 friends list out of 23 tokens at the time. So I've added a few more since then. The book games tokens just totally dropped in value when everybody started gearing up for V2. So a lot of that stuff, I was just like, man, I haven't seen these prices since like the first 3 days, that book games launched.
You guys been looking at sort of the odds for how to get the sets of 5? Are you paying attention to that?
Yeah, I was looking at some of the stats on it. There's a tool that got posted to figure out what your likelihood is based on exactly what you have, but I haven't filled it out yet.
Oh, that's the bookgames.info one?
See if I can look it up.
Bookgames tools.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the Discord for those guys, and like the Tableau table as well they put together. So I've been asked for the Tableau table in one of the wallet summary ones that Tim F does. I asked him, he's actually allows you to put up to 10 wallet IDs there.
Oh wow!
Because
nice.
you know how I was saying, look, to pull all of our to see how we want to structure it for like our day 15 of sharing. We got to just pull it. I said, so I just asked him, look, we got a bunch of us getting together. We want to put multiple wallets in there so we see what the group has, and then we can start strategizing. And I go, sure, okay. So he made that page for me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So so I'm excited about that for day 15. But I think probably the most I'm on the fence on either should I sell up some and get emeralds, because emeralds are a guaranteed win. The emeralds are still, you get 100% success rate, which is the alpha alligator.
How do you get 100% success rate?
Oh, so they have like 214. Have you seen those tables? Do you know what we're talking about, Darby?
I saw them. I think I saw them. I'm not sure. I remember.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So with the emeralds, there aren't 214 wallets out there that have 5.
There are. So they talk about, it's not just the wallets; it's how many sets of 5 exist. So one wallet might have 3 sets of 5, right?
Yeah.
So what they actually, how they look at it is how many sets of 5 are in existence in all the wallets. And so for example, like the Ninja, they might have like 800 sets of 5. So but there's only 214 places. So 214 out of 800 is about a 25% success rate, or 20% success rate. So if you enter that one, you only have 20% of getting it, because there's only 200 out of 800 possible entries.
Yeah.
I'm also just assuming that about 25% of wallets won't enter. 25% of like, and that's just random thing. But I just think you're not going to get 100% entry rate.
Yeah.
So let's say 25% entry rate. That's right, 25% non-entry rate. So I think the odds are a bit higher. But Alpha Alligator, the Emerald, is the only one that has there's only 200 or 205 sets of 5 out of all the wallets, which means, and there's 214 tokens. So if you have a set of 5, the Alpha Alligators, you're guaranteed to get a raffle spot.
Wow.
Because there's more tokens than there are entries at this stage.
Interesting.
Then yeah, so I'm thinking if I've got, and right now Emerald is about 0.6 ETH, and the clears and woods and like the lower ones, the granites and marbles, are about 0.2 to 0.25. So I'm thinking like to the emeralds, and I've got like, so my lowest ones, the emeralds, sorry, no, the marble, granite, and I think fur are the lowest ones. They have like 30%, 25%, and like 30%, and 25% success rate for each one of them. I'm thinking if I sell each one of those, so there's 3 entries. If I sell each one of those and just get a set of a set of emerald, I'm guaranteed one of it. 100% is a better guarantee than 30, 25, and 20%.
Interesting.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just statistically, yeah. Because, and if you do it well, you can even just do 2 sets. So, statistically, of all mine, I should get at least 2 out of my 6 raffles. Where I could get more, but I could get less.
Yeah.
Whereas if I just change them all like 2 sets of emeralds, I'm guaranteed to get 2.
Looking at that.
So that's one. Like you can strategize, but then it's just like, oh, I kind of want the fun of the lottery. But the next one that's good value is the patience lava.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a 75% success rate.
I've got, I've just got one of those, one set.
Oh, you got 1 set, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 9. So I've got one set, and I just need another silver. I've got 4 silver patient lavas. I just need 1 more silver patient lava, and then I'll have 5 patient lavas and a set of patient lava and a set of silver.
Got a question for you, and you may have seen the answer floating around somewhere. It might not have been said explicitly. Say you win a spot for 5 emeralds. Do you have to burn 5 emeralds to redeem that token, or can you just go burn 5 woods?
So probably that. No. So if it's the one if it's the Alpha Alligator,
yeah,
right? It has to. I actually asked this question in the AMA that they were doing. Let's say it's the Alpha Alligator. That requires 5 emeralds to burn.
Okay.
So if you win that lottery, you the only way to get it is to burn 5 emeralds. You can't burn a lower one. But let's say your wallet, you only have 5 emeralds.
Yeah.
And you enter the Alpha Alligator raffle, and then there's the Octopus and the Viking, which are 5 of anything.
Yeah.
Let's say you win the Viking. You're like, okay, I can win the Viking. You don't actually have to use your 5 emeralds to burn.
You can burn anything.
Yeah. So your wallet can anything you want. You can go back to Token Trove and buy a bunch of woods and burn those if you like. Once your wallet is entitled to burn, as long as you can burn anything that's eligible. So like the spec, for example, is a good one. Let's say you have 2 pearls and you win the spec raffle using 2 pearls.
Yeah.
You can think, well, 2 pearls are quite expensive. I'd rather go get, it's cheaper to get 15 wood frames. 15 wood frames are 3 ETH. So let me just go back and get 15 wood frames and burn those instead of my 2 champagne or 5 pearl.
Got it.
So yeah, so what you enter for the raffle has no bearing on what you actually need to burn to do it. Your wallet is like, okay, your wallet has eligibility to burn for that token, and you can go back and rearrange and get anything you want to burn for it.
Right. And so like to go back to it, like for instance, on the clear token frame day, you just have to burn 5 clear tokens. They don't have to be your the ones that you already have. They can just be any 5 clears, but you can't burn woods. You have to burn the clears.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. So like in my case, for example, I've got if you have a lot of, like, let's say you've got some woods, but they're all gratitude.
Yeah.
And conviction. Like, well, I don't want to burn. Like, I use that to enter the raffle, but I don't actually want to burn them.
Yeah.
So you've won the raffle spot for something. You can go back to Token Trove and just buy whatever else you want for the burn, as long as they're the matching ones for the burn. You don't have to burn the ones that entered the raffle.
Okay. And that tells me that I need to keep what ETH I have liquid, because I'm going to have to go back if I get one of these and buy some new stuff, most likely. I looked at it. I'm eligible for 15 raffles. If I get one of those, it'll be great.
How many sets of 5 do you have?
Let me pull it up real quick. My account. Actually, I got it right. So I've got
I wish Token Trove you can sort by frame type. It'll make it so much easier.
Yeah. Because I wrote them all down. So I've got 5 patient lavas, and those also happen to be glass frames. I've got 5 wood frames. I've got 5 rainbows, 5 neons,
5
3
neon.
3 champagnes, and then
Ooh, you're doing well.
There's some champagnes that are in there right now that are really enticing, but again, I have to like hold back because I've got plenty on the book games. Dude, there was a bubblegum neon koala for 3.9 yesterday.
Yeah. So he's the one I posted it. He bought it was up listed for 3.8, and I said that's cheap as shit. And then it went to it got sold right away. And I think I posted it in the chat. I think it was in our chat, saying this is stupidly cheap because the fact like parlors go for that, let alone a neon.
Yeah.
And it went for 3.8, and then it got listed shortly after for 4.8.
Yep.
But I think just the time, like usually that would go right away, but because of liquidity, I think he put it back down to 4 and 3.9 and then 3.8. He's like, I need my liquidity. But it would have been, I think if you hold on to it post.
He'd be doubled.
Yeah. But everyone's got liquidity issues. Like I'm strapped. Like I've got to, I think with some of my tokens, I'm gonna start like I don't want to put any fiat back into crypto. I dumped so much into it. Because I just got into this game like 2 months ago, not even. Right, and so I bought a Hawk. The Hawk was 23. Which is crazy. Like that's crazy money when you just think about it. Like when that's fiat, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of of cheddar times an average of about $3,000 right now.
Yeah, and then similar in book games.
Yeah.
Which fortunately that paid off in terms of the lotto that I got.
Yeah.
The friends list. But now it's like I'm like, you know what? I've got enough in the space to like, I've got some the WoW Galaxy. World War Galaxy. So okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna just I'm just gonna sell some of those. I'm listing them in WoW Galaxies. I might put them to the floor. And I might and also I'm thinking I've got my furs. I might just sell off my fur frames just to get some liquidity. Or I might just do I got 13 friends list. I can mint 1 and then sell it. Mint another 3, sell some of them, and then that will give me enough liquidity for the rest of the plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots of strategies, but I'm not putting another penny in there. Of real money, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, but let's see how it goes. But my number one thing now that I want to do is once Mint opens up, I want to claim my Series 1, my free one And if the metadata is visible, I want to see what character it is.
Yeah.
I think because we don't know, the access tokens don't know, and that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
That's like, it's more exciting than the regular mint, because the regular mint it's a lotto, but this is like where access tokens are only ones with an evolving lottery. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So which ones have the metadata? If you go from, it's anyone with a V1 that gets to mint.
Correct. The Series 2 claim, the free Series 2 claim that the Series 1s have, will have the metadata visible, apparently. So the ones you mint from just the friends list won't show the metadata.
Right. That's like, for a data nerd, I'm like, that's super exciting to go look in there and check it out.
Yeah. So I'm like, because everyone else knows, like all the other characters know what they're getting.
Yeah.
But just the access tokens.
So theoretically, you could. Oh yeah, it's going to be
You can get an evolving black cat. Which, did you see the core that sold for 70 ETH?
Yeah. I felt like it was going to go higher than that.
Like, how would you, like, do you mean for our Hawk token? That's like, it's our Hawk that we're like, we don't know what we're going to get, right? Because
yeah.
Oh yeah, because we could get anything.
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean. So yesterday, day before, what's it called, a core lucky black cat sold on OpenSea for 70 ETH. 70.
Yeah, just a V1.
So, V1 core, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think I heard it was Mohit that bought it.
Yeah, there's when a patient panda core sold for 55, it was like, okay. And that was months back.
Okay.
And then the very, very lucky coming out of 70, I was like, yeah, I would have held out for more, I think, but.
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
Apparently Mohit knew there's a buyer for 55. He's like, because he's in the circles, he knows someone who's asking around for 55. So he's like, okay, that's kind of like, he knows that's a flaw, that he can offload it for 55. So he thought, okay, if that's what it's at, maybe it's worth the premium, especially now because he's going to get the V2, the V2 claim, and so there's going to be a black cat in evolving.
Wow. So
yeah.
I'm still not clear on the rarity. I mean, I know the little devil's going to be a hot, like, popular new character. But when I looked at the cards that we're all getting for free, like, it's interesting how the rarity in the card sets don't match to what I've kind of like thought in my head were going to be the rare characters.
Well, I haven't looked at the new card sets, but I'm actually thinking it's going to be more of a game. Like, if you look at the rules for how they want people to play, it's like, I don't think it's going to be they're trying to make it just a rare collectible. I think they want people to actually play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he wants to launch it like Pokemon cards.
So within those card sets, you might get something that's worth, like, not playing with, but otherwise, or get a protector for it, or like if you get one of the signed ones, that's just like a nice, like, Easter egg. Otherwise, they're actually meant for playing.
I just looked at the rules once. So I'm back on the bicycle. I'm gonna go to the supermarket quickly. Sometimes when they open up, they have like the meat from yesterday on sale for half price. So.
Nice.
I got 5 mouths to feed, so let's see how it goes. I'm not. I just read the game thing once, but it's like basically you meant to sort of, whoever wins keeps it, right? It's to play to win, and you keep the card. So I can't imagine him putting, such rare, like the same as the initial set of zero cool cards, where they're basically 100% collectible and you shouldn't even touch them with your bare hands. I don't think that's the play he's trying to do with these.
The fact that they're being given out, along with the tokens without anybody knowing it was there, it kind of plays out that way. Like, hey, these are meant to be played. These are meant to be cracked open and had fun with. Like, don't put these in the safe. There has to be something, that's consumable, or else if everything's valuable, nothing's valuable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's also part of those, like the nice Easter egg little bonus he's given us, in terms of, hold on a sec. Yeah, the just little bonus he's given us, because it's a complete freebie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one even knew it was coming. He said there was going to be some utility, but he didn't say what.
He did say some real world utility. He did mention real world. So I guess this is like, they're mixing that, and then also the gameplay. I remember when he posted the generative dungeons stuff. He really liked how the NFTs have gameplay built into it. So I like how he's doing that. So who knows what's going to happen with actually Series 2 tokens.
Yeah.
So hopefully there is some gameplay and stuff associated. That'll be good.
I've had the Series 2 site open during this whole Zoom, hoping that it would just somehow start, go live, but it's not yet.
Yeah, I've actually got to run. I got to help the missus finish filming this product.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's good seeing you guys.
I'm gonna stick a link before you go. There's an incubator that the Meta Angels are doing in conjunction with, I think, WoW. I just put it in the chat if you want to check that out. I think it might be
Angel Labs, for sure.
VaynerMedia is on their list of people involved. So
I'll dig in.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys. Have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, guys.
Or your
Bye.
day, as it were.
I will.
Right,
Bye.
safe. Yeah, see ya.
I personally am so grateful for you listening to this episode of the Hawk Flawk. If anything resonated with you, please leave a comment and let us know. We'd love to spread the useful parts of this video to help as many as possible. And if you'd be so kind to like and subscribe on all the channels you are hearing this or watching this on, I'll say thank you again, for real. From one hawk to another, Ka.